Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. My scrapbook.com creative team package arrived and there are so many amazing new products. Now, some of the products are available now, others are in the coming soon section. But I will have a link for everything I show in the video in the description box below. First up, I'm showing the magnetic mat. I did show this in a previous video, but if you weren't aware, scrapbook.com just released their long-awaited magnetic magic mat. And they also have a fun limited edition holiday magic mat. This bright red color with beautiful snowflakes in the corner. The magnetic magic mat has a double-sided design. One side is the actual magnetic mat. The other side is the original magic mat. And it does come with information and tips on how to use the magnetic magic mat. Now, my favorite thing about it is it will hold the die on top of your pattern paper or cardstock without using any of their mint tape. I grabbed one of the new coordinating die sets, and I will show this in detail a little bit later in the video. I was trying to pull it out of the packaging, but there was one area at the top where that double-sided tape was just holding on to the plastic packaging. Finally was able to sneak my hand under there and pull out the dies. I'll just remove one of them and I'll place it on the magnetic magic mat. The magnet is nice and strong and it covers the entire mat surface. So even if you're all the way up in the corner, there's a magnetic surface there as well. I'll grab a piece of paper, put the die on top, and this is how I would run it through my die cut machine. You can see it's not moving. Now, if I flip over the mat, so now I have the original magic mat side, no magnet at all, so the die and paper fall away. And if you're interested in the magnetic magic mat, it is available now. They released it last week, and I know it's been selling like crazy. Since I already have this die set out, I'll show the new coordinating dies. And the stamp sets that go with the dies have already been released. This first one is called Sunshine. This is a great stamp set, lots of good sentiments that you could use year-round. And I love having coordinating dies. In scrapbook.com's coordinating dies, there's one that goes around all of the sentiments and images. The next stamp set with coordinating dies is called Thanks Friend. Really nice assortment of thank you and grateful sentiments. Then we have holiday stamps and coordinating dies. And again, there's a die that goes around all of the images and sentiments. And the final stamp set with coordinating dies is called Wonder and Delight. And this is the set that Laura Graff is using in her SBC Fest class that's coming up very soon, September 13th and 14th. And the stamps and dies are both included in her class kit. And I will add a link for SBC Fest if you want to check out all of the instructors and their kits. And if you weren't aware, I will be teaching at this September's SBC Fest. So excited. Scrapbook.com also has two new pattern papers. One is Halloween, the other is Winter and Christmas. The Halloween one is called Willow Lane. The Christmas Winter one is called Snow Days. Now I'm showing the 6x8 size, but both are also available in A2 size. I love scrapbook.com's pattern paper. They always include 40 sheets and you'll get 5 sheets of each pattern. And there's a nice variety of different designs, so you'll have plenty of paper for your cards or projects. Next up, more paper pads, and I'm so excited about these. It's scrapbook.com's brand new Glossy cardstock, and they have two different color sets, Pastel and Rainbow. Both are available in 6x8 and A2 size, and every single sheet has this beautiful glossy finish. The cardstock is a really nice heavyweight, 350 GSMs or 130 pounds. I'm showing the pastel set first. Look at these beautiful colors. There was a lovely pink, orange, couple different yellows. This one's a little brighter. This lovely lime green color. It's sort of a teal mint green. Here's a soft blue, and then a lovely purple. Almost has a pinkish look to it. And the 6x8 is the same. All of the paper pads include the 40 sheets, 5 sheets of each color. And here's a look at the rainbow. I love that it has white. I don't think I've ever seen a white glossy cardstock before. The pink color is my favorite. This is a gorgeous pink. Then we have red, orange, yellow. Here's a nice Christmassy green. This beautiful royal blue color. And then of course black. It's always nice to have glossy black cardstock. The glossy cardstock packs are not available yet, but they are in the coming soon section. So be sure to sign up to be notified as soon as they're available. Next up are some new sizes of Scrapbook.com's heavyweight mixed media paper pads. They already have the 6x8 and A2 size available in white and also black. And coming soon, a couple new sizes, 8.5 by 11 and also 12 by 12 in both the white and black. This is really nice heavyweight cardstock, 400 GSM. I love using this cardstock for creating backgrounds. You can do ink blending on it, stencil, add some fun watercolor spritz. With the nice heavy weight, it can take on a lot of different color mediums. The next product I'm showing you is perfect for getting your craft room organized. This is Scrapbook.com's extra large 2-tier storage container. If you have their original 4-tier storage container, this one is twice as wide. So technically it holds the same amount of product, but it'll hold larger items since it does have a wider surface. The top tray includes 2 removable 6-divided storage bins. And I'm sorry, my overhead lights are really washing out the white color of those bins. Now on the very side, there are a couple of locking latches or handles. So you can unlock those, remove that top layer, and the bottom one is fully open. There's no organizer inside. So you could put some large pattern paper in here. I grabbed the 8.5 by 11 mixed media paper pad, and there's still a little bit of wiggle room around it. So I think the bottom would be great for storing some of the larger paper pads. In this top tray with the divided bins, you could store some smaller craft supplies. I tried a Distress Oxide ink pad, didn't quite fit. But if I remove the bin, I could easily put a bunch of them inside the large tray. I'll put the lid back on top, lock it in place with the 2 side handles. It's always nice to have lots of storage options. Next up is the brand new stamp cleaning chamois, and this is currently available. There are 2 different color options, cotton candy pink, which is a beautiful pink, and also sky blue. The chamois are perfect for cleaning your stamps. To use the chamois, you will need to add water. Inside the package, the chamois is in another plastic packaging. You won't need to keep that portion of the packaging, but the main package has the little Ziploc at the top, but you will want to remove the paper packaging piece. So when your chamois is damp, you can store it inside the plastic bag. Now don't store it long term while it's damp, but it's perfect if you're doing a bunch of crafting throughout the day and you don't want to get your craft surface all wet. Just put that damp chamois inside the Ziploc bag. Then when you're finished crafting, you can rinse it out with water and let it air dry. Most inks will rinse out completely from the chamois, but there are some inks that will stain it. But even if it's stained, it still works great. Next up are two new rub-on transfer sets. Now these have been released for a little bit, but I don't think I showed them in my previous video. We have Spooky Critters and also Willow Lane. And the images on the Willow Lane rub-on set match beautifully with the Willow Lane pattern paper. And when I was recording this video, I forgot to show the two products together. There are 4 animal critter die sets that match the critters on the Willow Lane rub-on set, and there's even an outline that's the same size as the rub-on. And I'll mention that when I show those die sets here later on. Scrapbook.com has 4 new nested shape die sets. The first one is Nested Octagons, and this is the set I'll be using in my SBC Fest class on September 13th and 14th. And it is included in my class kit. Next we have Nested Pumpkins. There are, I believe, 6 different sizes of pumpkins plus stems. Then we have Nested Coffins, 6 different sizes. Then finally Nested Ghosts. I believe there are 7 sizes of ghosts, along with a fun variety of eyes and mouths. Scrapbook.com has such a fun variety of nested shape dies. Now moving on to some Halloween dies, and I have already used a few of these in videos. We have Spider Webs, then Pumpkin House. This is such a fun set. You can create this adorable pumpkin house, plus there's a tree, bushes, little ghosts, bats, lots of fun pieces for a Halloween night scene. I shared a video a few weeks ago using the Willow Lane pattern paper, and I made 5 different cards, and it also featured several of the new Halloween die sets. Now here are the 4 image die sets, and the outline works with the rub-on Willow Lane set. So this first one is called Pumpkin Head. There is that background piece, and you'll simply use that to line up all of the others. And I will do a video later featuring some of the new animal critters. On the first set, it has the sentiment Trick or Treat. The next set is Mummy Bear, and it includes the sentiment Love You to Death. And it's nice that all of the sentiments also include that shadow outline piece. Then we have Ghost Cat. It includes the sentiment Hey Boo. And the last set is Witch Fox. This fox is so cute, wearing its little striped pajamas. And it includes the sentiment Happy Halloween. The little critters are so cute, all dressed up for trick-or-treating on Halloween. So I'm looking forward to using those very soon. The next die set is not holiday or seasonal. It's called Patchwork. This is an A2 card size die. You can use it to cut out a bunch of interlocking patchwork pieces. I think this would be fun to use with pattern paper scraps or different cardstock colors. So now we're moving away from Halloween, shifting more toward Christmas and winter. There's a new die set called Berry Christmas. And this is a large die set, 59 pieces. You can create 4 different adorable polar bears. There's 5 different presents, a couple of trees, winter hat, winter scarves. There's a couple of flowers, holly leaves, and even a little mug so you could have cocoa, tea, or coffee. This die set is also included in Laura Graff's SBC Fest class kit. Even if you don't watch SBC Fest, the class kits are a really good value. Next up are 3 new stencil sets, and these are not Christmas, Halloween, winter. It's really more toward a Valentine, although you could use them anytime throughout the year. All 3 are layered stencil sets. I believe there are 2 layers in each set. We have Heart Cherries, that one's my favorite. Love Cupcakes, and that would be great for birthday cards, and then also Heart Lollipops. With so many fun new goodies, I had to make a card right away. I know I showed a ton of fun Halloween products, but I decided to make a Christmas card. I love using pattern paper, and I really wanted to use the new Snow Days pattern paper collection. And I'll also be using the Wonder and Delight stamps and coordinating dies. I'll start off by stamping the sentiment, and I'm using the large Wishing You Wonder and Delight this holiday season. I'll put the stamp in my Rose Quartz Misty, and this is an exclusive color to scrapbook.com. I'll be stamping it on some of this soft peach pattern paper that's included in the Snow Days paper pad. I'll cut it down since I don't need a full sheet. The ink color I'm using is scrapbook.com's Dark Chocolate. This is one of my favorite brown ink colors. I will ink up this sentiment several times to get a nice solid impression, and I'm also using the Stampendable Stamping Pressure Tool. I was ready to put away the Misty, but I decided I would try out the brand new Stamp Chamois. And of course, I went for the pink color. So I did go and get mine damp. Now I'm just wiping the chamois across the stamp. Most of the time, I simply clean my stamps with a baby wipe. And unfortunately, I do end up getting some of those tiny little fibers. But the nice thing about the new Stamp Chamois, none of the little cloth fibers come off. And I also found that it really removed more ink than the baby wipe did. Now using the coordinating die and the brand new Magnetic Magic Mat, I'll cut out the sentiment. The Magnetic Magic Mat replaces one of the acrylic plates. And it was so nice that I didn't have to hold that die in place with any adhesive. I've already gone ahead and cut out all of the pieces for my card using the lovely tree pattern paper for the background. That piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Down the center of the card, I'll be adding a wide strip of the wood grain pattern paper. This piece is 2 1/2 inches by 5 1/4 inches. I'll layer the background on some of the dark green solid pattern paper. This is the back side of the tree pattern paper, and that piece is a full A2 size, 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. Now I'll add the wood grain paper in the center. Across the card, I'm also adding the white and pink star pattern paper. And this piece is 4 inches by 1 3/4 of an inch. And I will be layering it on the same dark green cardstock. That piece is an additional 1/8 of an inch. So 4 inches by 1 7/8 of an inch. I'll put adhesive on the back and add my card front onto a card base. And the adhesive I'm using is scrapbook.com's Deluxe Adhesive Roller. From the same light peach cardstock, I cut out a large stitch circle die cut, and I used a die set from Paper Rose. I will be popping up the sentiment. I pulled out scrapbook.com's large foam squares in the 1 millimeter thickness, but I'll also grab some of the small squares. Kind of sad that my sheet is almost gone, just a couple rows left. Before adding the sentiment on the stitch circle die cut, decided it needed a little bit of gold shimmer. I just recently purchased Picket Fence Studios Liquid Gold Paint Splatter Watercolor. I have their white snowflake and I love it, so I thought I would try the gold splatter. I'll put just a tiny bit on an acrylic block, spritz it with water, and using a paintbrush, I'll tap it over the circle, and I'm really focusing on the outside of the circle since I will be adding this sentiment in the center. And I did let that sit and dry for probably 10 minutes. I love that beautiful gold shimmer. I'll glue the stitch circle die cut directly onto the card, and I'm using scrapbook.com's Artiste glue. I have the ultra fine metal tip on my glue bottle. I never change it, but I always make sure to add the storage pin. That way the bottle doesn't get clogged. After putting glue on the back, I'll adhere the stitch circle die cut down about 1/2 inch from the top of the card. Now I'll flip over the sentiment, remove the release paper from the foam, And I'll add the sentiment in the center of the stitch circle die cut. To finish off the card, I could simply add some embellishments, but I decided to stamp some of the snowflake images that are included on the Wonder and Delight stamp set. I have a small scrap piece of white brushed pearlescent cardstock from Spellbinders. I'll set it up in my Rose Quartz Misty. I selected 3 of the snowflake images, and I'll stamp them using Distress Oxide Tattered Rose ink. It's almost the exact same color as this soft peach pattern paper. Since my stamp chamois is still nice and damp, I'll remove it from the zippered bag and quickly clean off my stamps. And it took off all of the Distress Oxide ink. Now I'll place the piece of cardstock with the stamp images on the magnetic magic mat, line up the coordinating dies, then I'll run it through my Platinum 6 die cut machine. Even cutting out 3 stamped images, I don't have to use any of Scrapbook.com's mint tape to hold the dies in place. So there they are, all cut out, and I'll make sure to put away my dies so I don't lose them. I'll be adding 2 of the snowflakes in the upper left-hand corner and 1 underneath the sentiment on the right side. And I will be popping up all 3 of the snowflakes using the small foam squares in the 1mm thickness. Now, since I did use Distress Oxide on a pearlescent finished cardstock, I did let that sit for probably 10 or 15 minutes. I didn't want the ink to smudge. I'll remove the release paper from the foam and add the 3 snowflakes around the sentiment. So there is my finished card. Love how this turned out. The pattern paper colors are beautiful, and I love the large size of the sentiment. If you are interested in any of the products I showed in this video, I do have links in the description box below. As I mentioned earlier, some of the products are not quite available, but they are coming soon. I've also added a link for SBC Fest, so you can find out more information about this free event coming up very soon. And I'll also add a link for Scrapbook.com's current specials. They always have amazing deals and fun freebies. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.